Queen Charge Hybrid is, in my opinion, the easiest Town Hall 13 Queen Charge based strategy, and the reason behind its easiness and versatility is that there aren't any key values that needed to be taken down in order to start hybrid. I mean the hog plus miner part of the attack. Like when using Queen Charge Hogs, you need to take down the queen, or when using Queen Charge Lalo, you need to skelly the queen. That means that pathing is even more, probably even more important than taking some value in hybrid strategy. I recently watched some video from Lando Gaming. He's a Clash of Clans YouTuber, where he said that funnel, value, and pathing are the three most important principles in every attack strategy, and I definitely agree with him. Funnel, value, and pathing. These three are like three principles that can be applied to any attack strategy in Clash of Clans, any Town Hall level. And in hybrid, pathing is the most important one. You don't need to take down that much of a value. You don't need to take down like Queen, Town Hall, and I don't know before starting your hybrid. You can take down just one Inferno and like two X-Bows and I don't know, Royal Champion, and that's pretty much enough value to start the hybrid if you nail down the pathing. You need to make the L shape of the base to hybrid the base. So creating a nice and narrow pathing with your Queen Charge or Yeti Bomb or whatever you're using in first phase of the attack is more important than taking down some key values like Eagle Artillery, Town Hall, or Scatter Shots, or something else. And by narrow pathing for hybrid, I mean pathing that isn't too wide and its width can be or can almost be covered by one heal spell. So you can get an entire group of hogs and miners under one heal. So heal spell has a radius of 5 tiles, which means that it covers a diameter of 10 tiles. So if you can narrow down the base to 10 to 15 tiles with your queen, or in combination with your king, siege barracks, or Yeti Bomb, you will be able to cover an entire group of miners with a heal spell, and you will have a great chance of 3-starring the base. And of course, the more value you get with your first phase of the attack, hybrid will have more chance of clearing the rest of the base. So I'm not saying that getting some nice value in first phase isn't that important, but in my opinion, pathing is slightly more important because hybrid can deal with anything on its own, even the CC. If it's some archer, goblin CC, or witch CC, you can have poison and Royal Champion and miners, and they can deal with them pretty easily. So this first one is really an obvious example of hybrid base. There is Town Hall on one side with 4 X-Bows, which makes it a little bit more difficult. Charging into 4 X-Bows is harder, but you can use King in front of the Queen and then wait for King to die, deploy healers, because otherwise kill healers will switch to the King or to Barbarians. You can rage them as well before dropping your healers. You can drop some balloons in front of them because this is a teaser base, and usually on teaser bases there are seeking air mines around the Town Hall, a lot of them. And why is this a perfect example of base that is really easy to hybrid? Is because you can Queen Charge the Town Hall, you can get Queen, King, you can get probably 2 X-Bows and CC. Maybe your Queen will die after that, but you can take healers will probably switch to your hybrid. You can do that. So, and you see that the other part of the base is really an L shape already. You just need to take down the Town Hall and clan castle and like 2 X-bows, 2 heroes, and you already have an L shape. So hybrid, there is like, in this L shape, there is like, I don't know, 6, 7, like 10 tiles width, I think. So that's perfect. Heal can cover this entire side of the L on this base. So this next base is also a very similar example. There is not that much damage in the Town Hall area. I mean, you have King, you have Royal Champion, you have 2 scatter shots, but all the X-bows are on the other side, and all the single Infernos are on the other side. So, super wall breakers, it's pretty easy to wall break into this wall behind Clan Castle at 12 o'clock. And you can fairly easy make an L shape with that for your hybrid. And most obvious is to start the hybrid at 2 o'clock of the base, because you will get Eagle pretty soon, you will get X-bow farm pretty soon, you will have the 2 singles for the back end, but hybrid will have enough power to deal with it. And also, hybrid is the most strongest with siege barracks, because you have a lot of support for creating that L shape that I'm talking about. You have a lot of support for funnel, and you have a lot of support. You have a lot of supporting troops. You have like P.E.K.K.A. and I don't know, maybe 10, 12 wizards, and then you have also additional 9 hogs. So yeah, usually when you use siege barracks, you usually want to use hogs in siege barracks. Using Yeti Bomb, I mean Yeti Bomb troops to Yeti's Valkyrie and Barbarian isn't that useful usually, because they're too slow, so they get stuck on the trash on the outside, and they don't support the hybrid. So that brings me to one additional principle that I didn't saw at Lando Gaming, that I came up with myself, and that's synergy. Synergy is almost as important as, I mean, probably as important as these first 3 principles. If anyone hasn't joined when I talked about it, the first 3 principles are funnel, value, and pathing. So you need to funnel, you need to get some decent value, like, I don't know, Town Hall, 2 X-bows, Clan Castle. You need to make the pathing, that L shape that I'm talking about, and you need to funnel. I'm going to post some third base. From this base, you can fairly easy see that L shape of the base that I'm talking about. Are they priority for queen charge value? Well, yes, but it depends on what troops are in the clan castle. So let's say if it's 3 ice golems, then definitely clan castle is a priority. But a lot of people in Legend League, for example, they use these mass archer goblin CCs, and you can fairly easy deal with them on the back end while doing hybrid with your poison, Royal Champion, Grand Warden, and miners. So yeah, I mean, when attacking in war, clan castle is definitely a priority. If the base hasn't been attacked yet, so you can't see the CC. But if it has been attacked, or if you are attacking in Legends, I say you don't need always to worry about that. So on this thread base that I posted just now, you can fairly easily spot that L shape of the base. Now this is a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder to charge into the town hall, because you need to wall break. You need double layer wall break, and there are 4 X-bows, 2 cannons, 2 wizard towers, and whatnot. So if you have super wall breakers, it's super easy. But if you don't have super wall breakers, you can rage your wall breakers. Anyways, you need rage for your queen and for your healers, so you'll get it anyways, I think. And The only thing that I worried about when I was attacking this base for the first time in Legend League is, will my queen go around? But I'm not going to invest that much troops on funneling her. I'm just starting her at like 9 o'clock, and if she goes in the town hall compartment, that's great. If she doesn't, I have a backup plan for that. I can start my hybrid like either at 11 o'clock, going right into that inferno, or at 7 o'clock, going right into that bottom inferno, and then I can use the blimp behind it and use the Grand Warden ability, so the blimp comes to the town hall, and you have some sneaky goblins and hogs, and they will be able to take down the town hall. So I'm going to post some other base. I can explain you my thinking process when I attack this base. So because it's kind of obvious that you always want to get the town hall down as quickly as you can, because town hall is the strongest defense at town hall 13. So you want it down either with your queen charge, or you want to get it with your hybrid pretty early. You don't want to get it on the back end of the base. So you either drop your hybrid straight into the town hall, or you queen charge the town hall. But on this base, there are all 4 heroes surrounding the town hall, and there are 2 scatter shots right behind it, and there are 2 X-bows pretty close behind the town hall. So going into the town hall directly would be like a suicide mission, in my opinion. But what you do is you can queen charge in one of the single infernos around the town hall, like either at what's that, 1:30 or 4:30 o'clock, and you can, from there you can take down. This is another thing that you need to evaluate every time you attack every time you do any queen charge. You need to evaluate how much can queen reach from certain compartments. Like if you get queen into this compartment at 4:30, into this inferno compartment, you can get from there Grand Warden, you can get Scattershot, you can get Clan Castle troops, and Clan Castle building. You can get 1 X-bow, did I say that already? Air Sweeper and Mortar. So that really creates not the, well, it doesn't create the most obvious and the nicest L shape of the base, but you got some value, and it's at least some kind of a L shape of the base. So you can start your hybrid at 3 to 4 o'clock. You can support it with King. You can start your siege barracks somewhere at 12 or 1 o'clock. And the order of deployment is the next thing that I need to say something about. So when you start hybrid here at 3 to 4 o'clock, you first need to, I mean, on any base, you first deploy your miners. You need to wait a little bit, usually, before deploying you can deploy your warden right after deploying your miners, but you need to wait a little bit for deploying hogs, because miners first need to clear down the trash ring of the base. Like on some bases there is a double layer or triple layer trash ring, so you don't want your hogs in front of your miners, you want them together working in synergy. And then, so you wait a little bit for your miners to get close to the defenses, then you drop your Grand Warden right after that, you drop your hogs, and then you wait a little bit and drop Royal Champion. You don't want to drop Royal Champion that early, because you don't want her targeted by any defense. You want her behind. You want her to be tanked by by other troops, by hogs and miners and warden. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them.
Actually, sometimes I find it difficult to when I don't have the super wall breaker in. So normally wall breakers tend to go into different direction than I intend. So whether I should take a jump spell along with the queen charge, is it a good idea?
About the jump spell, I don't think it's a good idea because that's a big investment. Like one jump spell is worth maybe 20 wall breakers, so you don't have enough support for your hybrids in terms of spells on the back end. And I mean, if you're doing it in Legend League, you can do it with jump spell. You can get pretty far with it. You can get probably like 80%, 90% 2 stars. I don't think that can 3-star that often. But in War, I wouldn't suggest using it. If there are lots of trash buildings, you said let reminders get ahead. Do you ever save any hogs back and release in stages? Actually, I don't do that. I did it when I used just hogs a lot. I drop one group here, one group here, one group here. But with hybrid, I just spam it. I don't know. Maybe we can try it like that to save a few hogs for the buildings. But I usually have 4 loons in my army composition. So if there are any backend defenses that are still left, I can support my hybrid with dropping these loons. Yeah, with rage and normal wall breakers, they burst pretty quickly. What does that mean? Sorry. I will sometimes do the test wall breaker before deploying the rest in case of chance. Yeah, test wall breakers should always be deployed when using normal wall breakers. And one thing you should know is that wall breakers target the buildings actually. I mean, they target walls where buildings are behind them. So let's say, take a look at this last base that I posted. So let's say I start queen charge, I start queen walk this here at 4:30 o'clock in front of this single inferno in front of this wither tower. I need to wall break in here before the wither tower, before my queen takes down the wither tower. Otherwise, wall breakers might go for this cannon or for the Grand Warden. So you need to use wall breakers before the building where you want to wall break falls down. And another important thing is with super wall breakers is that Grand Warden can one-shot your super wall breakers. So max Grand Warden at Town Hall 13, level 50, right, can one-shot your super wall breaker. So you need to either drop something in front, like maybe balloon or hog rider, or you can wait for your queen to get in range of Grand Warden and then deploy super wall breaker. And also another thing about wall breakers is that they don't, if there are moats on the base, they don't target the moats that are shorter than, I don't know, I'm not quite sure, but around 15, 14 walls. So if you see a really short moat around the base, like that is around 10 walls long, you shouldn't even try to wall break that, because wall breakers will not target it. What is your army build at Town Hall 13? How would you adjust at Town Hall 12 or Town Hall 11? My army at Town Hall 13 is usually I think 17 miners, 10 hog riders, 5 healers, of course, 4 balloons, maybe 2 wizards, 2 minions, 1 baby dragon, yeah. And in Clan Castle I have usually 6 hogs, at least in Legends League. I usually have 6 hogs, 5 sneaky goblins, and blimp and siege bear. And I never use any other siege machine other than siege barracks and battle blimp. It can work probably with stone slammer as well, if you can make it somehow on the back end. If you see some nice value, like if there are nowhere defenses, if there are some wizard towers, archer towers. Oh yeah, that's the army composition that I always use. Or just posted. What do you ask for in CC? I'm not pushing this season, so I'm just going with hogs. That's why my today's Legend League log look like 1 3-star, 1 1-star, 1 3-star, 1 1-star, 1 3-star, 1 1-star. But I usually, in Legends League at least, I use 6 hogs and 5 sneaky goblins. And in War, if I use Yeti Bomb, I use, 2 Yetis, Valkyrie and Barbarian. And if I don't use Yeti Bomb, I use Siege Barracks with 9 hogs inside. How do you tackle ring bases? Well, most obvious solution for ring bases is to queen charge into the one side of the base. Then take down some value. You can take down CC. I don't know, maybe 2 X-bows, let's say Inferno or whatever. Then you wait to see which way your queen is walking, and then you support that side with your hybrid. So your healers might even switch from your queen to your hybrid, and you get more value from healers themselves. And then you use blimp behind the hybrid with 5 sneaky goblins, which, as Nora said, are enough for Town Hall to go down. This base, I actually hate that base, to be honest. I know how to attack that base with Yeti Bomb, but now that I'm not using Yeti Bomb, I think I actually never 3-started with my new army, which is with hogs and sneaky goblins in CC. But probably you can do it. The way I would attack it now is drop king, queen behind at 9 o'clock. So king, queen, and rage spell. Wait for king to die. Then drop healers. Then use like all my rages and probably all my freezes for Town Hall, scatter shots, CC, or whatever is doing the most damage. And then start my hybrid at some of the gold storages. So either at what's that, 10:30, or what's that, 7:30. And I would support it with siege barracks, probably at somewhere at the right side of the base. At which time should we place our hogs and miners so we don't time fail? Well, I don't know for sure. It depends on how much value did you get before. If you already used your king, like when you use siege barracks, you don't need king to funnel your hybrid. So you can use king earlier to get some value with your queen, or to funnel your queen. So if you use your king already, maybe 130, 140 is enough. 1 minute 30 seconds. And if you haven't used your king already, if you're dropping your king, your siege barracks, and your hybrid at the same time, I think around 2 minutes you should start your attack. So hybrid isn't really that. You don't really need to queen charge for that long time. Like I recently watched some Clash of Clans stream where some guy was attacking this base and there was like 140 left on the clock, and he was still doing his queen charge, and I was like, oh no, this is going to be a fail. He's going to time fail. And then it was like 130 left, 120 left, 110 left, and he's like at 1 minute and 5 seconds he started his Lalo. He wasn't using hybrid, if I didn't say that already. He was using Lalo, and he started it at 1 minute and 5 seconds left, and he tripled the base. So for Lalo, you need to queen charge, I think, a little bit more. With hybrid, you can queen charge just like one Inferno, and you can get just in one Inferno island, and hybrid can still 3-star the base. Because hybrid can deal on anything on its hybrid can deal with anything on its own. Ever run into issues with traps ruining the sneaky goblin bomb to the town hall? Have I really? Probably, I guess so. It's in the new meta in base building that people put small bombs and giant bombs around the town hall in ring bases. And these sneaky goblins. So yeah, it's pretty easy to fail with that actually. This base, you want my opinion on this base?
Yeah, actually I do started multiple times, but not able to do a 3-star on this. Probably something I'm missing.
Well, to be honest, I wouldn't even go for the CC on this base. Actually, in Legends League at least. In War, probably I would go for the CC if I'm using hybrid. But in Legends League, I would go for the right part of the base where you have really a lot of value. You have 2 singles, which are a little bit difficult to get, both, but you can get one at least, and you can start your hybrid earlier to tank your queen from that, to save your queen from that second single Inferno. You can get single Inferno, you can get X-Bow, you can get Eagle, Royal Champion, King, so that's pretty much good value, and that gives you a nice pathing, because there is a ring around the town hall. You already have, if you just queen charge one part of the base, you already have kinda, not L shape, but you have some U shape of the base. So hybrid has, so you can heal your entire group of hogs and miners, and Ward and Tom will cover entire group of hogs and miners. Any tips for funneling the queen for queen charge? I guess you can. A good tip would be to start her somewhere. I mean, that's easy to say, but hardly to get it done. But on some symmetric bases, you can start your queen at one part of the base, and you can let her decide which way she can go. So you don't need to funnel both sides for your queen charge. You can just funnel one side. So that's like one tip that I have. For that ring base, I have breaking the queen through 2 walls, super wall breaker, and yet your sneaky goblin blimp the town hall. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I can't really come up with some funneling with some tips for funneling for the queen charge now. You should look for the dead zones always. If there is a dead zone outside the base somewhere, like for example army camps also. If there is an army camp outside the base in one layer trash ring, it's usually easy because army camps are way bigger. They are 4x4 size of the buildings. So queen will, if you drop it on left side of the army camp, queen will 80% of the time go left because there isn't anything pulling her on that side where the army camp is. So you should always look for some either army camps or dead zones outside the base. Like on this last base posted, if you start your queen at let's say 245 at this second gold mine from the right side, you need just to take down this mine next to the barracks, and your queen will go left side. To invest that much, and I always tend, at least in Legends League, I always try to invest as little as possible in funneling my queen. Usually I use one or two balloons, baby dragon, and sometimes miner or wizard or something like that. So on this base, it's also easy to make. It's also easy to make a nice path for your hybrid if you queen charge into one of the side inferno towers. If in one of the single inferno targets, if in one of the single inferno towers. So either at 1 o'clock or at 8 o'clock. And from there, you can get like all these arch towers, cannons, bomb tower, inferno. You can get the clan castle, you can get the X-bow, and something like that. And then you have a really nice path to the town hall. And town hall won't be activated before you get there. So you will not get more fire than usual from the town hall. And you can start you can target scattershot pretty soon. So you can go straight into this scattershot at 6 o'clock. You can, and yeah, another thing that I need to say is the order of deployment of spells and abilities. So usually, in most cases, I deploy first one heal spell. So on this base in particular, I would queen charge this single inferno tower at 8 o'clock. That would make a nice path for the hybrid to start at 6-7 o'clock. I would heal the entire. I mean, heal can probably cover the entire that scattershot island. Then, if I have any rages saved for my queen charge, and I would probably have. I think three rages aren't necessary for this single inferno tower at 8 o'clock. So I would probably have another rage for the town hall. So first heal would go here at 6 o'clock at the scattershot. Then I would drop a rage because there is king, there is grand warden, two wizard towers, queen, and the town hall. So I would use rage and warden tome for that, and then I would just see where my hybrid paths from there. But I would most likely use my next heal either at the next scattershot at 3 o'clock or somewhere at the single Inferno Tower at 1 o'clock. On which bases we shouldn't consider? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So this is the base that I hate encountering in Legends League, because as I said, and as I showed on previous bases that I posted, one of the most important things is to make the L shape of the base. And on this base, it's almost impossible to create the L shape of the base. So this is the kind of a base that I would never attack with hybrid. Alamatador is typing something because him and I, we were practicing and I hated base. Yeah, me too, man. I hate it as well. I'm going to post another base that I also hate attacking. It makes you feel so down to one-star because it looks so awful to, yeah. Yeah, it looks so disgusting, but you end up either one-starring it or getting some 55% 2-star or something like that. And LL, then how to tackle it. I watched some videos from Gaku. He was one of the. He is always at the top of the global Legends League leaderboard. He is always like in top 50 at least. And I watched him attack that base, and he posts almost every day how he 3-stars that base. And I tried to repeat it a lot of times. Gaku. His name is Gaku Clash of Clans. I can post the link. Just wait a little bit. Yeah, he posts every day his Legends League attacks. And he 3-starred that base many times. And I tried to copy him in friendly challenges, and I succeed maybe 2 or 3 times out of the maybe 10-15 times that I attacked it, or even more, I don't know. So it's pretty hard to copy that. He's a real expert. I can post another base that I hate attacking with hybrid. Gladly, I never saw this base in Legend League, but Abi had it, and he posted it many times in friendly challenges, and I never actually managed to 3-star it. It's similar as the previous one posted. That is really hard to get an L shape on. Looks so much better to Yeti Smash that fun. Yeah, true. Usually shall we launch hybrids from the same side as Queen Charge? Well, usually you should try to do hybrid alongside the Queen Charge, not together, I mean, but you should try to have some synergy in your attack. You should try to work them all together. That's when the attack is strongest. When all the troops and heroes and spells work together. So let's say at a ring base, the basic idea of attacking a ring base is you wall break at one side where you see some nice value and you can keep your queen alive at that side. So you wait to see which way she will go, and if there is a lot of damage on that side where she is going, if there are like 4 X-bows or 3 single infernos, if she can't survive all that by herself, then you need to support that with hybrid. You need to drop hybrid before she dies, so they all work in synergy. But if she's walking on the side that doesn't have a lot of damage, you can as well do the hybrid on the other side, because then you don't need all that synergy in attack, if that makes sense. And I'm going to post another queen charge tip. When charging the single infernos and CC comes out. That's the thing that I hated whenever it happens. I didn't know what to do. I was panicking. I was dropping poison and 2 freezes for the single, and then I would drop another rage, and then I would end up wasting ability as well. And there is this one tip that I recently learned, which is just use ability. I posted here on this image, CC is coming out, and Queen would probably switch from single Inferno to CC, and then I would need to use a lot of the spells and ability as well. So that would be a ton of investment for just one single Inferno. So if you use ability instead, and that's what people usually try to save their abilities as long as they can, but you should sometimes use abilities earlier. Does anyone know the exact time it takes for the single to do max damage? I have no idea actually. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 5-6 seconds, I guess. I guess you can check that on Clash of Clans fandom. Just type single Inferno fandom, and I guess you can check it. I'm going to post, this is a similar thing when 2 singles lock onto your queen. So instead of freezing both and then using the rage and then using also probably the ability, and as you can see, I got here in this particular instance, I got, instead of using 2 freezes, I just used the ability, and then later I used the rage, and with that, so without using any freeze, I got 2 single target Infernos, 1 Tesla, and 1 Town Hall. Town Hall, free. Astro, you need to cut it out when editing this. Beautiful, yeah, thanks. Oh, hybrid a good attack for attacking up. Say if you are Town Hall 11 or 12 hitting up a Town Hall level. I guess it depends. It depends on a base, really. Because hybrid isn't, well, when attacking up, you shouldn't ever use or Lalo, because they target defenses, and then you can't get all the defenses when attacking up with Lalo or hybrid, so you end up getting like half of the defenses, and then these defenses are covering the outer trash of base, outer trash ring, so you can't get even that trash outside. Always go for the attacks that where troops don't cover defenses. So I think Yeti Smash, P.E.K.K.A. Smash are great for attacking up. E-Drugs are great for attacking up. Bots are not good for attacking up. So bot spells, Hog, Lalo, that's you usually shouldn't use these for attacking up because they target defenses, and then you come to some point and then even clear the trash outside because defenses are targeting the trash. 5.25 seconds. Astro.